Hi, my name is Bronson Lim. I'm an assistant professor in the mathematics department. My ACLE project was coordinating the quantitative reasoning, the general learning outcomes with the mathematics department's course learning outcomes. This is a project that just sort of fell in my lap at the beginning of the fall 2020 semester. Um, I've liked it because it's sort of forced me to investigate an area in which I probably wouldn't have sought after for quite some time. Um, so I'm very fortunate for ACLE for uh, giving me reason to pursue this project. So let me start with an overview. So the goals were to coordinate the departmental course learning outcomes for our general education mathematics courses with the quantitative reasoning general learning outcomes. So once we had that coordination, we then want to develop a multi-year assessment plan for these general education courses. Some details, I worked with the coordinators for our general education courses. The coordinators are Susan Addington, Lemiz Nazal, and Jeffrey Meyer. And Judy Silva helped me a tremendous amount. Judy's the best. Thank you, Judy. You're the best. The quantitative reasoning general outcomes essentially have 5 dimensions. There's modeling, which is dimension 1, more or less it's modeling. Dimensions 2 and 3 are more or less reasoning with models. Dimension 4 involves critiquing arguments, and dimension 5 involves communicating mathematics. So those are the 5 QR dimensions. And the courses that were that are coordinated are the Math 1100 and 1200 courses. So 1100, there's a couple courses there, and 1200 is some courses there. Those are coordinated by Susan Addington. 1300 courses are coordinated by Lemiz Nazal, and 1400 and 2210 are coordinated by Jeffrey Meyer. 1601, which is sort of a less theoretical version of 2210, currently has no coordinator. So for that course, I needed to contact the faculty directly to talk to them about an assessment, which luckily at least one of them was happy to talk to me, so that was nice. So to align the departmental CLOs, we used a spreadsheet that I'll show you in a second. And then we also made a list of the current assessment artifacts for these courses to determine how we might go about assessing them. And I'll show you that actually now. So this was created by Judy. Thank you again, Judy. You are the best. So at the very top, we have the list of dimensions. And then on the left-hand side, we have our courses and the various course learning outcomes for those courses. And essentially, I brought all the course coordinators together, and I essentially just wanted them to put an X where there was alignment and leave it blank if there wasn't. Okay. If I scroll up a little bit, we'll see that there's still missing data here. The coordinator for this course is FERPing faculty that has a lot on our plate, so we're going to try to get this filled in as soon as possible. But this is the alignment spreadsheet. And then for each of the courses, I asked them to list how each of the CLOs get tested. So some of these artifacts are not assessment artifacts, like in-class activities and discussions. So that's fine. For most of these, we'll be using a common final. You can see this over and over again. So midterms are a common final. But anyways, that was the first step, is having having the coordinators fill that out. Some observations from that process, which actually took up all of the fall 2020 semester because getting people to show up to meetings is hard. The coordinator for 1100 and 1200 realized that she wanted to rewrite the CLOs for those courses, that they were no longer accurate. And so the course learning outcomes in the spreadsheet are current, so those have been rewritten. Math 1601 is not coordinated. There were no CLOs. However, Math 1601 and 2210 are very similar, So we as a group came together and we adapted the CLOs from 2210 to 1601. We also realized that probably we actually need to coordinate Mass 1601. And so I don't know what the current status is, but I believe Jeff will be taking over coordination for that course as well. We also learned that dimensions 2 and 3 are in the QR GLOs are very similar. We sat down for at least 2 meetings trying to distinguish between the two, and we really couldn't find a difference. So I ended up talking to one of the faculty member who helped write the quantitative reasoning general learning outcomes, and more or less they said that they are very similar, Bronson. So maybe in the future these dimensions will coalesce. It's an observation that we had though when we were sitting down to do this alignment. Dimension 4 was sparse. Only one course learning outcome from each course hit dimension 4. That might be good or bad. We're not sure yet. And then the last observation, sort of personal, you know, provided we can get the course, I could get the course coordinators to meet. They're all very excited about the assessment process and what we're going to learn from it, and it's really heartening that they have that excitement for it. So once we have done the alignment, we need to develop an assessment plan. So we want to create a multi-year assessment plan. And in that process, you know, I mean, part of that plan is an assessment cycle. We don't necessarily want to test all of the dimensions every year, but we want to cycle through them. So the current plan is to develop an assessment cycle for each group of courses. The 1100 and 1200 courses, the coordinator would like to assess those via course projects, and the remaining courses, so 1300, 1400, 1601, and 2210 will be assessed with a common final. And the plan is to assess once per year starting this year in the spring semester. The current status is that we've begun working on the assessment plan for 1100 and 1200. We haven't gotten too far into anything. It took the majority of the fall semester just to fill out that little bit of the spreadsheet. But we're going to be meeting to discuss course projects for these courses soon. And the coordinator wants to attempt to test all dimensions, all 5 dimensions, or all the course learning outcomes every year with the course projects. We haven't finalized anything. That may or may not end up happening, but that is the current plan. And then for the remaining courses, we will use a blueprinted common final, and those will be more of on a cycle. So we'll test maybe 2 or 3 dimensions each year on a cycle, but this is still in its infancy. So that's the current status, and our plan is to start assessment at the end of this spring semester, like I said. So thank you everyone for listening. And again, I'm very grateful for ACLE for giving me a chance to pursue this. Thank you.